Today on Cinder's Playground, we are going to be discussing the cult classic An American Werewolf in London. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Cinder's Playground. And as you know by the open, we are talking American Werewolf in London. Sir, one question before I dive into it. Have you seen this film?
Nope, not in its entirety.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Missing out? No, well, I'm not surprised. You missed out on a lot of things, if I'm being honest. If
I
I'm
agree
being
with
honest.
you on that.
So yeah, all right. I just wanted to get that question out.
I'm missing
For the
like
listeners.
60% of my childhood.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, you missed out on a lot. I'm not gonna lie. You know, like I said, you grew up in a good era. Missed out on a lot of things. But are you ready to dive into this film? You know, the history of it.
Yes,
ready, sir?
I'm waiting for. I want to find out all the new things that you learned from it.
Oh, okay, definitely.
And then I also want to get the energy to watch it.
Oh yeah, like I said. Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said. I mean, again, this is one of those movies I need to own because I feel like movies that are really close to me, like on a personal level, I feel like I have to physically own them. If that makes any sense to you.
Oh, this is one of those movies for you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, yeah, I need a copy of this. Like I said, and of course I would get a collector's edition one, with all the bells and whistles on it, so putting that on the list. But anyway, we're here to talk about this film. So here we go. American Werewolf in London it was released in 1981 and is a horror film written and directed by John Landis, mostly known for comedies. Do you know who John Landis is?
Nah, not off the top of my head.
Okay, so he wrote and directed Animal House, National Lampoon's Vacation, and The Blues Brothers, all comedies.
Okay. I heard about some of those movies.
Yep. And there is obviously comedy elements in the film. What you call it, because that's just something you just can't like totally shut off, which I get, and everything like that. And for authenticity's sake, this film was a co-production of the United States and the UK. It had a budget of $5 million and grossed $62 million worldwide, sir.
Jesus.
It stars David Noddington, Jeremy Gutter, and Griffin Dunn. The plot follows two backpackers traveling through Europe who are attacked by a werewolf, and one dies while the other is bitten. David, our lead, is the one who was bitten and becomes a werewolf at the next full moon and causes havoc throughout the streets of London. Now, that's just a little overall summary. But now I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty, how this film came to be. How did this happen? So let's travel back in time to 1970, where Landis came up with the story while he was working in Yugoslavia as a production assistant on the film Kelly's Heroes. Landis and a Yugoslavian crew member were traveling across Romania, and Landis noticed that the Romanian people were performing rituals on their dead, unlike anything he's ever seen. rituals that, as he was told, can have the dead rise from the grave. Landis realized he would like to tackle this subject, but in a more supernatural way. Landis wrote the first draft that year and shelved it for over a decade. Eventually, Landis found success and notoriety for his films National Lampoon's Vacation and The Blues Brothers, which I mentioned before. And that gave him leverage. It gave him leverage in Hollywood. And Polygram Pictures were confident giving Landis the $10 million for his werewolf film. The studio wanted Landis to pick Dan Aykroyd as David, but Landis wanted to use an unknown instead. And, and he also had full creative control for this film. All right, I'm gonna pause there for a second. Um, that's something that I know happens a lot in Hollywood, where if a studio backs or buys your film, what do you call it? They want to have input on like who you cast and who's writing, who's directing, who do you get for special effects and all like that, man. So the fact that the deal he signed gave him full creative control, I appreciate that because he wanted to see his vision through. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's really important.
Especially if you're a creative person, man. Nobody messing with your creation, or
Yeah.
altering it in any way, because in the end, it's not what you want to be put out there, So I get that. So smart move by him. I just want to acknowledge that like I said, not only did he take the money, but he was like, "Oh, if y'all want me to make this, I need to have full creative control." Like I said, you guys can be, like I said, nitpicking, changing shit that I do and everything like that, man. They obviously they can suggest stuff, but he can turn it down, which he did. Because Dan Aykroyd was really popular at the time. Ghostbusters, all that shit, everything like that.
Yeah.
So I can see why a studio will want you to get a known person, for a role because they feel like it'll draw more people into the theaters and stuff like that. But the fact that Landis says, no, I'm going to use somebody unknown, I'm just like, nah, that's good, bro. Like I said, because I mean, sometimes a big Hollywood name doesn't fit a role or a character. Wouldn't you agree with that?
No, I agree.
Like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just an example, looking off the top of my head, Ryan Reynolds comes to mind, and like I said, Deadpool, he fits. Green Lantern, he doesn't,
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, you can't shoehorn actors into roles that aren't made for them, which is, like I said, which seems to be a current trend in Hollywood, more in the last few years, I would say, than in the past. But anyway, getting back to the film. Filming took place between February and March of 1981. This was done intentionally by Landis because he wanted the filming to take place during crappy weather. All the moon shots were filmed in the Black Mountains in Wales. Um, the pub shown in the film is known as the Slaughtered Lamb, but the interior scenes were shot at Black Swan, Old Lane, Martyrs Green in Surrey, England. Look it up. I did. It's a real place. uh, uh, which is located in the southeast of England. Werewolf. I'm just calling it Werewolf. When I say Werewolf, I mean the film Werewolf. I'm not gonna say American Werewolf in London all the time.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So Werewolf was allowed to shoot in. Oh, I know I'm gonna fuck this name up. Uh, I'm reading it how I think it's gonna sound. All right, but Piccadilly Circus. What you call it? Which isn't an actual circus. It's the name they give like this central hub of Europe. Um, but so he was given permission to shoot there, but that never happens because it's a very busy district. If you watch the film, you know what scene I'm talking about towards the end, where it's the big city street scene. But but he got to shoot there. You know, think of it as like shooting in Manhattan. You know what you call it. So think of it shooting in Manhattan. You know how crazy and busy Manhattan is, and all things happening and everything like that. So just picture that. He got this accomplished though by inviting the entire police force of that town to a screening of the Blues Brothers. The cops were so impressed by his work, they granted him production for 2 nights between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. During this time, traffic was blocked off. All right, I'm gonna stop there for a second. So, the fact that he got the local authorities to let him shoot in a place that never gets to be used just because he showed them one of his films. What do you think about that?
That's so cool.
uh,
That's so cool. And
hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's also because he was flexible with the timing to shoot.
Oh yeah, like I said, man. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he would took whatever hours they gave him. So 1 and 4 a.m. Like I said, I'll take it. You know, and I can understand why they picked that time because I would assume there's less traffic at that time, so it would be
Yeah.
not such a hassle. You know what I mean? So like I said, good for both parties on that. I think. Um, Other filming locations were Putney General Hospital, uh, Reflex Square, Tomonton Court Underground Station. I'm sorry, that's one place. Tomonton Court Underground Station and the London Zoo. Um, so fast forward, release. American Werewolf in London was released in August 1981, making $30 million in the US and, of course, $62 billion worldwide, which I mentioned, against its $6 million budget. Special effects master Rick Baker. Do you know that name? Rick Baker.
No.
Oh, man. He's deceased now, but he was like the GOAT for special effects, man. A lot of people look up to him, still look up to him, you know. Just for example, he did makeup effects for The Exorcist. Uh, Also, what do you call it? Harry and the Hendersons. I don't know if you've seen that film. That whole Bigfoot costume, that was all him and his, team. So,
Oh, I
and
think I know what you're talking about.
yeah, and probably his biggest achievement, he did all the special effects for the Thriller video, man.
Oh shit!
um,
Heavy hitter.
yeah. What you call it? And actually, Michael asked for him. He wanted him to do the makeup, and the special effects for his video. So that's how
That's a
big.
high achievement.
Yeah. Like I said, if the King of Pop says no, I want him to do it. So yeah, that's definitely high praise. Um, so and also he has to be credited for making this film what it is today. As I told you, it is the best werewolf. Oh, when I say you, I mean you, Jose. I told you it is the best werewolf transformation scene I have ever seen, and I don't think anyone will do it better. It was so impressive that it was the first recipient of the Academy Award Special Effects Award. So the year this movie came out, the Academy didn't have a special effects award, but they made one. And this was the first
This
film to
deserves
get it.
one.
Yeah, this was the first film to get it. um, Empire magazine, a magazine we're both familiar with, named it 107 on its list of the greatest films of all time. At this point in time, the film has reached cult status. Many known people in Hollywood today cites American Werewolf in London as inspiration uh, uh, for them getting into business, including Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Sean Bean, just to name a few. Now, that's all the praises we have in everything there. But now we're going to jump forward a little more bit. closer to our timeline. So, in June 2009, it was announced that Dimension Films were working with producers Sean and Brian Faust to remake the film, although it has been delayed due to their other commitments. But then, in August of 2016, it was reported that Max Landis, son of John Landis, was in negotiations to write and direct a remake. Then in December of 2017, Max confirmed on Twitter he completed his first draft of the script. But this is a very big but. And this is the shit I found out that it surprised me. But in early 2018, not that far removed from where we are now, but in 2018, it came out accusations from several women that Max abused and sexually assaulted women. In the wake of these allegations, the studio has put everything on hold. And as the writing of this, it is unknown if he will be replaced or the project will be scrapped entirely.
Dang.
So that's what I have for American Werewolf in London.
Shit.
People in Hollywood, man, they be fucking up, bro. They be fucking
Literally
up.
fucking
Okay. Okay, so going into questions for you, sir. Like I said, thoughts of what you heard about this film, even though it's a brief summary. Like I said, I don't want to dig too deep into the plot and scenes and story beats and stuff like that. But from what you heard, what do you think? What are your thoughts about this movie?
I mean, I like he had the whole creative control over the movie. That's a good thing. That's a plus in my book.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm also really curious to see how well done the transformation scene was.
It's epic. Epic.
And what else? I think those are the two things that really stuck up that I really want to see.
Okay.
And I was excited when you told me that they were going to make a remake.
Yeah, but then yeah, I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think so. Like I said, and I don't think John wants to do it again anyway, you know. I mean, he might produce it like a remake, but then again, like I said, he might feel dirty that his son is in all this shit, so he's just like, man, I better just stay away from it, the whole thing altogether. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like, I'm done with everything.
It's like, nah, man. Okay, so next question: are you gonna watch it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I am now.
Mm-hmm,
I just have to see where I can stream it from.
Yeah. Oh, damn. That's another thing I have to do when I do these movie ones. Is just like I gotta tell the people where they can watch it. You know. So mental note I'm gonna make for myself. You know, for the next movie one. Okay. Next question. So thoughts on a comedy writer director making such a big switch and being successful at it? What do you think about that?
I like it because you never know what that person has in mind. Like if you think about it, like Danny McBride, I think directed the new Halloween movies. I haven't seen the latest one, but the first two that were new. And he did a good job, and he does. I think he only does
comedy mostly, yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool. I think it's cool to give people chances
to step outside their usual like realm and
Yeah.
stuff like that, man. You know, I mean, but just using Danny
It
McBride
sounded
as an
like he had that in his
Hmm.
mind before he had the other movies, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. This was like, yeah, cause he had the idea like a decade before he even got to work on it. So, like I said, so this is something he was thinking about. You know,
Yeah, that was like an original idea before
yeah.
everything.
So, yeah. So, like I said, I mean, get me wrong, I don't think everybody can do it, but like I said, if you're passionate about something that, like, you know, that you're not known for, like I said, I think you can pull it off, man. Like I said, and I was gonna say Danny brought the example. Like I said, he is a fan of like Halloween and stuff like that. Because he would at least attempt to do it right. Yeah, attempt
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do it right.
And he really
Uh,
put thought into it, and he really cares
mhm.
about the product.
Yeah, you know. So I get it. So, and I'm assuming Landis is a fan of horror, even though, like I said, he made his name off a comedy. Obviously, he's a horror fan. So, like I said, the fact that he got to go down that road, what do you call it? And like I said, was good at it. But that, I mean, I feel he also was successful because, like I said, he made that deal where no, I have to have full creative control, or this is not going to work.
Yeah.
Which is right. Like I said, you
No, I
know,
agree.
like so many studios, want to, change shit, make changes, and fuck up writer director's vision, and that's why we get a lot of shit in Hollywood. Oh, what do you call it? Okay, thoughts on his son?
Scumbag. No, way to fuck up a movie, man.
Mm,
No, I don't know. I don't get why some people do that stuff.
again, that's Hollywood elitism, man. Like I said, they think they're in Hollywood, they're untouchable, they can do whatever they want, man. And then, like I said, it gets caught. It may not happen as soon as the incident happened, but that shit will catch up with you. We've been finding that out for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Shit will catch up with you, man. It will. Okay, and my final question: what is your favorite werewolf movie that you have seen?
Um, my favorite werewolf. The one with Michael J. Fox.
Teen Wolf?
Yeah.
That's more of a comedy.
In my defense, I haven't seen that many any
Werewolf.
that many werewolf movies.
Oh, dude, there's so many. Like I said, you ever heard of Silver Bullet?
No.
What about The Howling?
Nope.
Again, missing out. I mean, I like those two films, but to me, they hail in comparison to London. But like I said, I mean, well, for you and the listeners out there, what do you call it? If you want to start with the cream of the crop, start with American Werewolf in London, and then you can work your way down through those other films. But if you want to work your way up, I recommend Silver Bullet. Cursed is another one, and The Howling. Those three, I recommend those werewolf movies.
I was gonna say Twilight,
No,
but I
no.
didn't.
No, that's not horror.
I know. I was just
Well, it's a certain kind of horror, not the horror I want. Not the horror I'm into. But yeah. So that is, like I said, my brief synopsis and history of American Werewolf in London. If you haven't seen this film, I highly recommend it. One, if you're a horror fan. Two, if you're a werewolf fan. And trust me, the transformation scene is worth the price of admission alone, even though you're not paying for it. But nah, if you watch it just for that, it'll be worth it. I'm telling you. Like I said, best transformation scene ever. Like I said, I know I'm hyping it up, but nah, it's that good. It's that good.
No, that's not the first time I've heard of how amazing that transformation scene is.
Oh, you've heard that before, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, I'm not the only one, man. Like I said. Also, I think I think I need to add this to the T-shirt collection too. I need an American Werewolf T-shirt. Like I said, I have like a Aliens, Exorcist, Night of Living Dead. Now I have to put American Werewolf London shirts on my wish list. But anyway, sorry, I'm sidetracked. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Like I said, kind of a short one, but like I said, it's one film. And like I said, I didn't want to give too much away. So if you're listening to this / watching this on YouTube, which I know you are, you can help us out by giving us that thumbs up and also subscribing to the channel Cinder's Playground. We greatly appreciate the support. Any support you can give us. I mean, if you sub, give us a thumbs up, like, share, all of that good stuff, man. We really appreciate it. And like I said, and we will continue to do our best and be better week after week after week. If you want, you can contact me at Instagram. I am Sinder, obviously. Sinder666 on Instagram. Like I said, you can sign in my DMs over there. Ask me any questions about the show or show suggestions, or if you just want to shoot the shit about anything geeky, I'm always down for a geeky conversation. Throw it over to my co-host.
And I'm Jose. You can follow me on Instagram at JoseCE90. Yeah, let us know what your favorite werewolf movie is, or if you think that transformation scene is as amazing as they say it is.
So yes, get in contact with her, follow us, on our socials, interact, and also you can interact on the community page on the YouTube channel as well. I am Sinder. Thank you for listening to us geek out about this awesome werewolf movie, and till next time, we will talk to you guys later.
Peace out.